Kentucky Bushwhacker here. We're at Okaloacoochee Slough State Forest, Mustang Loop, and Horse Trail. You can go off-road vehicles here. I'm out here double checking the waypoints on Onyx. The trail starts off with some loose sand here. I'm in a 2017 4Runner. Man, you gotta watch out for these. I've stopped here. There's a pallet over here on the left. I've tried to pull it out by hand, but decided to stop because it would just come apart if I really try to pull it out. So I figured it's best leaving it in position so then you can see it. But if you stick to the middle here, especially when this is underwater, you should be okay. I would definitely not drive over it. And I have just given up on waypoints for Onyx maps because it showed me not even close to my position, not even close to where I actually was, and it showed me sitting over there in the swamp. So I am not going to be using any Onyx waypoints. So when you come to places like this, and it's underwater, you can see to the left and right there, driver passenger, where there would be grass growing up there, and then a space where there's not any grass growing. So you want to stick down into the middle of patches like this. And the whole point of this series of videos is to show you what this looks like in the dry season, so that you have a better idea what it looks like when you get here. Now you can look for places like little landmarks. Of course, this may not be in position when you get here, but if you look ahead, there's one tree leaning against another where those pines are. You can use stuff like that as landmarks, since I'm not going to use waypoints. You get a mix of sand here, some stuff where I believe there's topsoil runoff, or where you got deep holes, or just holes in general that's got mud on the bottom. But dig down anywhere in Florida and you are into sand almost instantly. You just pick the middle on these. I don't know if I said it. I think I started to and then got distracted. I am running a 2017 4Runner. Now that's nearly stock. Stock size tires, Milestar MT2s, aired down to 20 psi. I'm running multi-train select on mud and sand, which gets you right through this. You can see anywhere in here during the wet season, this is going to be underwater. Just stick to the middle in most cases through this trail. What can I say? I'm disappointed with the Onyx maps because that is definitely not tracking my exact location. I've got Starlink connected here. I thought that might help with accuracy, but if it shows me several hundred feet away from where I actually am and I'm sitting in the swamp, I'm not sure how useful that's going to be to anyone with the waypoints. Now it's got this soft stuff on top here. You can feel how soft it is. when it rains, it's like when you get on the beach. It can firm up. Like I'm just going over a firm part there. Stop for a moment. Let's see if I can see where I'm at here on this map. Yeah, I can't even find myself on this. Here, let's see if I can get it to locate me. Okay, so it says I'm there. All right. Oh, here's another situation. Just choose the middle. You can see people get this rutted out. So then it'd be, it's sandy. So you could still high center here, but you could also push the sand out of the way depending on the conditions in your vehicle. You definitely need something that's high clearance. High clearance is defined by who, I don't know. But once again, see how you would, if this is underwater, you could see the tree line or not the tree line, but the grass line there on both sides and be able to tell. And then patches like we just went through and patches up ahead there, you can see there's mud there mixed with sand. That's got to be runoff. But that, because of the moisture, is much more compacted than what we're up here on this dried out sand at the top here. So you could see if you chose the middle on this section, you're going to be good to go. Here's another area. Look straight ahead. You can see the grass line there. I'm gonna stick in between the grass lines. There are no ruts for you to get stuck on here, unlike a few other places up the trail. And I choose this path and go left. That looks like that is starting to try and go back over there. And this is nice and smooth, so I'm sticking with this left-hand path. This section here opens up. So using the grass line may not, at least on that side there to the right, the passenger side, may not be your best option. Using the grass line on the driver's side here seems like the better choice. This trail's particularly dry sand today. And then on this here, you can get high centered here. You can choose left or right. Try to keep your whichever wheel in the middle there, whichever side you choose. And this is sand and mud mixed together there. This is another one you may want to choose the middle like that, or keep one of your tires or one side of the other in the middle. The trail conditions by the time you see this video could have changed drastically. Another section here, I'd stick to the driver's side when you're heading south in this one here. Got to really be careful through here. Got a blind curve. I think it could be okay in the middle of this one, depending on your clearance and trail conditions. In most cases on this trail, you just stick to the middle. Get a few like we had back there. You want to stick to one side or the other. In that section here, I think I would stick to the passenger side more. Okay, now we come up to this section here where there's this deep hole. It's pretty deep there. You can count on this probably being underwater. I'm trying to give you an idea. You can see, if you look off to the right there, immediately in front of us, you can see there are two cypress trees right there together. See the dark spot on the bottom? That's the water line on those two trees. So if you went through this section, you'd either pick left or right, but you sure don't want to be in the middle of that. And use your grass line again as your guide. I'm going to go off to the left here. Now that I'm looking at it from the side over here, the passenger side might be your better option to follow. It looks like it's okay. It doesn't look like the mud there is very deep. And you got, I believe, a bypass off to the left here for this. I'm not sure why. You should be able to drive right through this if you're high clearance. And you can see there's some ruts here. So once again, stick to one side or the other and keep that one tire in the middle. I'm going to say that in that spot back there, you could be up to maybe 3 feet of water, roughly. I've never measured it because I don't usually come out in wet season because I don't feel the need to put my vehicle through that. I don't want to ruin any of my bearings or other things that I don't want messed up. I know this will go through water if I need to. That's all I need to know about it. I'll go through water if absolutely necessary. And you can never tell here what's happened to the trail since the last time you were here. You could have that could even be deeper because people got stuck in it and dug it even deeper. Well, I'm always reluctant to go through that. So what do you have to prove to go through the water when it's deeper, especially deeper water? And out here in the wet season, I don't want to contend with all the mosquitoes and the bugs that are out here. The amount of mosquitoes that are possible on this planet are unimaginable, especially here in the Everglades. You can see a lot of this trail. You have one choice, middle, or just the path. There's no picking one side or the other. And then we'll move from swamp to then this higher ground where you see the pine trees growing. I swear I smell fried chicken. What the? Just a minute, I smell fried chicken. And don't be afraid to look off to the left or the right of the trail. There, I usually like to keep my foot off the gas and let it just kind of coast on its own if possible, because it gives me the opportunity, particularly when I'm by myself, to just look off into the bush there and see wildlife. Because one of the main reasons I'm out here, so I can see whatever's available. Yeah, I'm looking at myself here on Onyx again, and it shows me that not on the actual trail, it shows me out in the woods there. I can't gauge the distance on here, but that's really disappointing. I was hoping I'd be able to use the waypoints better than that, so I can mark places like that on as waypoints, so then when you get to the obstacle and things look different in the wet season, you know exactly where you're at. But with what I'm seeing here, let me pause for a second here. I just put that up on the screen. I took a image of what I'm looking at there, and it's showing me I'm off in the woods over there. Now, if I zoom out, it shows me on the path. But if you try to mark a waypoint like that, all of a sudden it's not accurate at all. Because I have to zoom in if I want to do an accurate waypoint based on what my trail markings were before on this path. They're not anywhere close to where the actual location is. And more importantly, it doesn't show exactly where I am on the map. If it doesn't show me spot on that trail, how can I know that I'm marking the waypoint in the right place? Now here's a section where it's going to take a deep drop there, but there's really no middle to get high centered on. So you're going to drop down in about a foot and a half, I don't know, possibly even 2 feet of water here, possibly, and but you'll be right out. Yeah, I'm like really wondering why the GPS on this is so far off. Connected to Starlink, so I figured that might help add some accuracy. When I use Google Maps, that's extremely accurate. So somebody can explain to me that. Put it down in the comments. I'd like to understand why there's such a discrepancy. I'm on a, just so you know, I'm on an iPad that's updated. It has GPS connected to Starlink. Clearly got a good Starlink signal. Even though we're still up on high ground here, you can still have this trail trap water in it. Yeah, it's just a beautiful high ground pine forest up here. And it smells so good when the wind comes in here. What vegetation. My goodness. Reminds me of being out in the mountains like Colorado, New Mexico. Here I am editing the video and realizing that the camera was off center, or the iPhone that I was using to record this with. Sorry about that. I hope you found this video useful. That's the end of Mustang Loop. I'm out.